Hello and welcome to the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. I'm Harriet Frew, eating disorder therapist, here to support you in overcoming disordered eating and finding peace with food. So today I'm going to talk about 3 important reality checks which we need when healing body image. And this body image healing is so much about mindset work rather than changing your body itself. So let's dive in. Number 1. What you focus on expands. Now, as a human, you can only absorb so much information from your reality. And the RAS, the reticular activating system in the brain, is like a bouncer at an exclusive club, filtering the millions of stimuli you're exposed to and deciding which parts to bring into consciousness. Okay, because we have millions of bits of information exposed to us at any moment, but we only take in so much. Now, I know for me personally, I bought my Red Mini in 2022. Now, my RAS, my reticular activating system, it consistently notices other Red Minis in the town, like literally all the time. They truly seem to be everywhere and anywhere, whereas prior to my purchase, my brain didn't notice their existence, but they were there all along. Ask me about black Porsches or silver Lamborghinis. I'm sure I've driven past plenty of them, but does my RAS notice them? No. So we all have a slightly distorted view of reality, depending on what we choose to focus on. Now, if you have an eating disorder, your RAS will be filtering your life through a body image and eating lens. As Professor Christopher Fairbairn, creator of CBTE, him and his team, he describes this as having your eating disorder sunglasses, like wearing your eating disorder sunglasses. So your perception of the world through your eating disorder sunglasses is wildly skewed. You will have a laser focus on calories and food choices. You may obsess around body image changes with mirror checking, comparing and weighing. And your worth will strongly be determined by your ability to adhere to your clean eating plan or maintain a smaller body. So how do we change this? What are some action points? So realize that there is a whole other reality within your grasp and you just haven't noticed it yet. So you just need to change your focus. Now, this is a simple concept, but not easily implemented. But even just appreciating that it's entirely possible to shift your focus in a different direction is really, really empowering. And Fairbairn would describe this as removing the eating disorder sunglasses. This will feel clunky and unfamiliar, but this is not a sign to stop. Now, I would say as myself as well that I think it's quite hard to just remove the eating disorder sunglasses. I like to think of diluting the tint in the sunglasses. So we're sort of shifting incrementally in the right direction. But as you develop fine-tuned awareness of your eating disorder behaviors, this will help you to question them before you descend into the unconscious rabbit hole of preoccupation. So what Fairbairn's trying to do is to help you develop a different relationship with your eating disorder, almost to have this meta kind of relationship where you're kind of looking down on yourself. Because when you are unconsciously kind of blindly just following the eating disorder, immersed in all the focus on food and calories and body image, etc., you can't really see the wood for the trees. You're so in the rabbit hole. But actually starting to take a little step back to think, okay, I'm noticing I'm doing these things and this is having quite a profound impact. And maybe, just maybe, I can start to think about things, question things slightly differently. Now, as Taylor Swift beautifully quoted in her Netflix documentary, Miss Americana, nope, we don't do that anymore. She made a conscious decision to care less about the paparazzi photos of her body and to avoid sliding into the negative self-talk which would follow. So be more Taylor Swift. The power is in your hands. Make a conscious decision today to shift your thoughts and to dilute the toxic link between weight and worth. Okay, number 2, no one else is that concerned about your body. Now, most people care very little about your body because they're deeply focused on their own flaws, their imperfections, and their daily problems. So they simply don't have the bandwidth to ruminate much outside of this. And even if someone had a fleeting thought, they will quickly be distracted and refocused elsewhere. Now, in an exceptional instance when body comments come your way, recognize the projection of the other person's personal issues around food and body. They will be deeply preoccupied with their own eating and appearance. It's so true. People that have a healthy relationship with food, that are much more body neutral, they're not going around comparing and analysing bodies all the time. Now, if you do have an instance when someone comments on your body, you're likely to really overly focus on the comment and replay it on repeat. It's almost like your antennae will be also be primed for mind reading and fantasy as well. So a cool glance in your direction may be interpreted as body judgment, when in fact is nothing of the sort. And then what about praise for thinness? Because I think many people have had that, be really, really validated when they've lost weight. Now, remember that praise and validation around appearance can be deeply, deeply unhelpful and confusing. Many of my clients have been in the depths of an eating disorder and the world celebrated their thinness with affirming congratulations. Now, really, what someone thinks about your body is irrelevant. Your own mental health, your own inner voice, your own physical health, these things are infinitely more important than someone else's opinion. Because even if the outer cake icing is shining and glittery, if the cake is crumbling inwardly, then the outer performance is irrelevant. And if this shift in mindset feels impossible, you need to look deeper, okay? Because if you're really, really struggling with these issues, it's not really just about today, it's about things that are deeper. So your early body image demons are still haunting you today if you are struggling a lot with these issues. It's rooted in experiences from your childhood and early life. Now, early body comments, understandably, are strongly internalized into your psyche. You'll feel unsafe in the world, perceiving further judgment and criticism. It will feel as though everyone is looking at you, but they're really not. But this shame and self-loathing around your body needs to be named and worked through. Otherwise, you will be consistently triggered into intense emotional states when you believe that others are judging you. It feels really, really real if you've been judged a lot in the past. So you have to have huge compassion for yourself. But these feelings are not about the present, but your past difficult circumstances. So action points from this. So remind yourself regularly that other people just don't care as much as you think. And look for the evidence of this in daily life, okay? We tend to really focus on that one instance when someone commented. You've probably got multiple instances where people just weren't interested. Focus on building up and trusting in your opinion about your body. That's really what matters. And if you are praised for thinness, but you're genuinely starving and weak, then this affirmation is not one to hold. Begin to see the world through an alternative lens. If you project body confidence and self-love, people will feed this back to you, regardless of your actual body shape and size. Try it, experiment. And separate the past from your present reality and work through any body image traumas holding you back. And this work can be challenging, so be kind and compassionate with yourself and get support if needed to work through past difficulties to clear the way for a respectful and kind relationship with your body. Number 3, the goalpost will always move. The achievement of desired weight loss does not usually end in rainbows, unicorns, and perfect self-acceptance. Sometimes clients lose kilos and kilos and still don't feel good enough. The goalpost moves again and again. The inner critic continues to rage and point out imperfections. Takes you further away from acceptance and self-love. And I guess, when we're going on any weight loss journey, those are the underlying hopes for navigating that journey in the first place. And you can become addicted to the number on the scales going down, and everything comes crashing down when you plateau or gain an increment of weight. So action points for change. You were not put on this earth to chase thinness and lose weight. Your purpose is infinitely greater. Be mindful of not tying your whole worth to weight and channel energy into improving mental health, self-worth and relationships. Reflect on your frequency of weighing and mirror checking for optimal well-being and self-love. and work towards a deeper respect and care towards your body, even if you can't love it right now. Body neutrality is far more achievable than body positivity. And recognize that radical acceptance of the wonderful body that you have is a path to freedom. You have one body as a vessel to carry you through this life. Offer it compassion and kindness and notice how things change. Okay, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you all being here. If you're not following me already on Instagram, do seek me out at the Eating Disorder Therapist _ For further support with your relationship with food, do go to the eatingdisordertherapist.co.uk. If you enjoy this podcast, I'll be so grateful if you'd follow, rate and review, as it helps it reach so many more listeners. And if you'd like to receive written articles of the podcast content, please subscribe to my Substack for free. The link is in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to sharing another podcast episode with you very soon.